Welcome to this week's episode of Pandemic Reflections. Hi, I am Elysium and welcome to my channel. Now, today I am so excited because I have a very special guest, and she is special because she's my sister. So please allow me to introduce to you Jennifer Allen, or as I call her, Peppy. So, hi Peps, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good actually. The weekend is going beautifully and it's busy, but it's lovely. How's yours going?
Good. Yeah, we've had some snow, we've had some sunshine, we've had some wind.
What?
We've had everything.
Oh my goodness. Oh no,
We've had some
just
fresh air, we've had some indoor time, and we've had some creative time. So yeah, it's been good.
oh my goodness. And it's like only Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
Okay, so first of all, can I say thank you actually for coming on my channel at short notice? I had a bit of a last minute cancellation, and I feel bad for not asking you before actually, but I just didn't think you'd really be interested in appearing. So massive thank you for stepping in, and I'm very excited that you're going to talk to me about how the last 2 years has been, pandemic wise. Obviously, I know a little bit because well, because of being your sister, but
Yeah,
it
you've
would
been
be.
through this journey with me.
Yeah, exactly. It will be very cool to hear what you've got to say. So I'm going to shut up and let you talk. Um, Feel free to give your reflections on a personal level, on a professional level, and go into as little or as much detail as you would like. Ta-da! Okay, Peps.
Thank you. Okay, let's start just before the pandemic. I was pregnant. I had my little boy, and I was on maternity leave. I was
Yeah.
just about to return to work as the pandemic hit. So I'd spent all that emotional time getting ready in my head to return back to the office, and handing my little boy over to somebody to take care of, which for
Oh,
any mother or father or guardian of any type, they know that pull on the heartstrings and
yeah.
that emotional pull. So that's where I was in that stage. And then for me, it was a really good time. And I feel bad for saying that because I know for so many people it's been such a hard emotional journey.
I don't think we should feel bad for saying that some bits of it were really good. Like, it's just honest.
Yeah, I was on furlough. I had the longest maternity leave I think anyone could ever hope for. The sun was shining. We'd just moved into our new house,
Yeah.
which is quite high. So we live in Staffordshire, and
Oh, no.
yeah. I live in a house with a family next to the forest. Yeah, so when it's sunny, it's absolutely glorious. So the days that I had with my son developing and exploring was absolutely amazing.
Yeah. He wouldn't realize, obviously, that any of that was anything out of the ordinary. It'll only be later on when he grows up and you'd be like, yeah, well, when you were a baby, mummy had to go back to work and then she didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a bit of a rock with childcare. Work, as soon as I was able to go back to work, as restrictions got less, work wanted me back in, a week's notice, and to sort childcare out, that was a bit of a rocky situation. However, things happen for a reason, and I ended up with somebody even better in my eyes.
Oh, I
We could have
remember. It was slightly stressful there for a minute, wasn't it?
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wasn't too sure where my son was going to go while I
Yeah.
needed to go back
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah. because I think when you're plunged into a situation like that, it's very difficult to keep in your mind that that's only a temporary setup. And there was a lot of change, wasn't there? And I know a lot of people felt that impact of like, okay, life is like this, and life is like this, now life is like this. There was a lot to get used to.
Yeah, absolutely. So from flipping from one to the other, I mean, first of all, it was, yay, I get to spend more time with my son and my family and at home and settling in when we are. You suddenly, yeah, we want you to come back and take you out of the nice little bubble that you've created.
Yeah.
Figure out that out. Yeah, and I think that still had an effect in different areas of my life, talking about that little bubble that we created. I much prefer to stay at home, spending quality time with my family, doing creative things, exploring things as a unit and learning and growing together. Where before I was much more social.
Yeah.
Different people, not that I don't want to see them, they're still, you know, my friends and my social people are still very important in my life.
But
the balance changes.
I experienced the same thing. I had this like moment of discovery where I went, oh yeah, I'm an introvert. Brilliant. It's okay to enjoy being at home. That's fine. And it sounds like you had the same realization.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. So in addition to this, having that extra time where we were having evenings at home, my husband was getting back into his music on a different level, and I started exploring what I wanted to do and what I could do to help myself grow, and to challenge my internal locus of evaluation and conditions of worth. And these are words I'm going to go into a little bit further into.
Ooh, I want you to do that. Okay. Now, you're not alone. I think a lot of people took that time to reevaluate themselves and their purpose, their path, and to do something about it. So what happened?
So I started to look within and pivot on my internal beliefs. Which, as you said, I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate to. So the year before my GCSEs, going back to school, I was noticed within one of my classes. I took economics as a subject, and my economics teacher wanted to have a look at all of my subject textbooks. He asked me to hand them all into him, which I was really confused at, and he said, I think you're dyslexic. Through school I struggled, and I just thought my brain just wasn't as clever as other people. And from primary school, when you're told that you don't have a learning difficulty because you're not disruptive and you're not shouting out about it, you just don't want to learn, you're just not interested. So I didn't realize I could challenge this or even what was going on with myself. At such a young age, you don't, you just listen to other people because they're there to guide you. So I still struggled with ways of learning through college, and it wasn't until really I was put into an office setting I started to develop and explore things that will assist me. And you know, they really have, up until now, using Grammarly with Google, which is a fantastic program. And I'm doing a college course at the moment, so it's really like a wingman for me at the moment.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know that, because I'm so proud of you, Peps. You're doing an awesome course. You're working so hard. You're working full time and you're doing a massive course at the same time. Like it is hardcore with a small child in the house as well. So I'm really happy that you found tools that can help you. And you're right, there are so many things that are available to us now that didn't used to be. And also, you're right about the attitude of dyslexia changing over the years, because unfortunately back in the 80s and the early 90s, things were very different. Like people, it was almost stigmatized. And, I'm really gutted that you had that part of your educational journey, because you were robbed in many ways. You were robbed, but you're making up for it now in spades. So tell us about your course. Tell us about what you are doing and why and how it's going.
So the first thing I needed to do was pivot on my internal beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So I signed up for a couple of online courses to have a stable base to build upon. So I did a super learner course, which is basically how to learn, and it gives you techniques and strategies because I've been out of learning for so long, and a master your memory course. So once I'd finished those, they're really short courses, but they just gave me the base to build on. Once I'd carried out those and finished them, I then had a look at other areas that I wanted to study in.
So you kind of laid the foundations for learning, first of all.
Yeah.
That's clever. Okay, what next?
Absolutely. So the next thing I wanted to do was find the subject of what I wanted to go into. And there were so many courses on counselling.
Ooh.
So during the time of my study and my lockdown and my furlough / maternity leave,
Yeah.
during all that time, I was looking for almost confirmation of what I wanted to do, which is something I felt really lost in for a long time, finding that right path to go down.
Yeah.
Now, helping people has always been something that's been very close to my heart.
Yeah, you are a natural, lovely person. Perhaps it's very annoying.
So you, runs in the family.
Nice or annoying? Don't answer that.
I think as a history of a family, if you look down the lines of our family history, there's some really strong characters in there that want to help. And
it's true. Yeah, I think there's some secret superhero genes in there. It's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. So in many ways. So yeah, it's true. It runs in the family. It's in our blood.
Yeah.
We've got that empathic side, and there's different levels of it. There's different scales of it within the family. But I do think we all carry it within our family.
Yeah, that is a really interesting thing that I haven't thought about, whether it's I don't know, somehow is it genetic, or is it just a really strong family value that's just carried through? I don't know.
It could be a mix of both. Now, genetics isn't something that I'm studying in, so I can't say, but being brought up in a supportive and loving background is something that really does, again, I use the word foundations, lay foundations for those inner strengths, inner values to grow.
Agree.
So, and that's something that interests me with regards to how people are, how people react, how people deal with situations, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to go into counselling. Coming into contact with select few people that we did do during lockdown, which were people that were doing work for us outside, because we had some work done by some groundsmen outside, and our childcare providers, and small amount of contact we're having, and listening to issues that they were going through with their children. And also my own kind of intuition and looking at what I wanted to do and what touched me inside and what drew me to certain areas. And counselling was the one thing that kept on coming up.
Yes.
Scenario would happen, and I'd be like, if I was in that situation, I would want somebody there that I could go and talk to and have that open conversation in that safe proximity to work through these issues.
Oh, Peppy, it's so lovely. And it really is the perfect course for you. And I know that you are going to be absolutely amazing when you start practicing. So I am very genuinely proud and full of admiration for what you're doing. It's awesome.
Thank
so
you.
Tell me about the job that you're doing at the moment.
So the company that I've been working for, I've worked for them for 9 years in different areas. So this is the third department that I'm working in now. It's connected to the waste industry. Well, it is a massive part of the waste industry, which hasn't been the easiest ride for me from start to finish. However, I didn't want to quit, and I knew that it was a good place for me to grow and learn, in a sense academically, and also in a sense emotionally. We all come through certain things, come face to face with difficult people, difficult situations, and even though at the time it's really, really hard, once we get through that, we can look back and say, okay, I can see how much I've grown from that in this way or another.
I get that.
And I used some really good techniques while I was going through that. So for quite a while, I've been interested in Buddhist meditation. And there were some local groups that I've been on and off with for the last 15 years, if not a little bit longer, where you'd go and sit and listen to the Buddhist monks or Buddhist nuns about their teaching, and they'd do guided meditations. And one of those was living in a situation or going through a tough time with a compassionate heart. Which was a really, really strong lesson to be in, a really strong teaching to sit through, and you'd reflect on it. And I think I've had about 3 or 4 of those same teachings from different Buddhist monks or nuns.
It's not an easy thing to do, that.
It is difficult, and you really do have to take a step back mentally to be able to go through that. And it might be at your lowest point where it's really knocked you down. That's how I found myself going into it. I've been at the lowest point of the situation, really knocked down, and then you have to step back to be able to change the situation in your, to give it a different outlook to get a different outcome.
Oh, that's amazing.
Links to my counselling course.
It really does. It feels like everything that you have been experiencing, or like all the way through your life, has just been a path that's kind of culminating in this right now, which to me says that you're on the right path and you're doing the right things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And something else as well. So now I'm on my level 3 counselling course, which is at a college, actually learning with people instead of online, which I was really, really nervous about going into that setting again, because I've been learning on my own, taking it at my own pace, finding my own support where needed. So going into a completely different setting, which was quite nerve-wracking.
Yeah, of course.
A tough time through school. I didn't really want to go through that kind of scenario again. Completely different though. So I'm with Walsall College, and I have a fantastic supportive tutor called Rachel for my level 3.
Oh, that's so lovely.
We have skills practice, so a lot of the counselling course level 3s are only 4 hours per week, but the course that I'm on is 6, because it allows skills practice, which is so important.
Yeah, of course.
When you're going through something like this, because you're dealing with people's emotions, you're dealing with people's lives, and to have that experience is so valuable. When I finish my level 3, I'm not going to be equipped enough to be a counsellor.
Okay.
At the first going into that course, I thought, right, finish my level 3 and I can start practicing.
Yeah.
But going through the teachings and the lessons and the ethical frameworks of counselling, you understand actually there's so much more to learn.
Oh my goodness.
So it'd be another 2-year course after this one.
Oh,
until I can go down that journey properly, but it'll be all worth it. So we're learning about person-centered counselling, which is putting the client at the heart of the counselling sessions. So it's person-led. You don't give advice, which going into counselling, a lot of people think, oh yeah, I need some advice about this. It's actually the client that needs to realise and kind of unjumble almost
and
what they need to do for themselves. And we are there to support them and help them reflect how they're feeling to them so that they can see things in a different way.
Oh, it is such the perfect job for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. You're a really good listener, and I think you're very good at drawing wisdom out of people. So I think, yeah, that's really ideal.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Sorry. So a lot of people, their beliefs have been set out quite just as me with my learning. They've been set out at an early age. So we have this thing called an internal locus of evaluation, which I touched on earlier. So this is our beliefs of how we should act, what we should do, or what things are that have been put on us from external sources. So it could be like beauty magazines, for instance, or watching like reality TV. So we're having all these external influences come upon us. It could be from our family, from our teaching background, from our learning environments. All these different things. Yeah, all these different things affect what we believe is to be true. And that's something that I really had to challenge to get to this point.
Yeah, it totally is. It sounds like the pandemic was, by and large, a really strong opportunity for you to grow as a person.
It was.
Okay, what about the bad bit?
The world stopped, literally.
Yeah, everything stopped.
And we all kind of got off for a minute, got off the roller coaster and went, okay, well, this is how things have been. Let's have a look. What can we do to move forward? What do we want to do?
Yeah. It was a really good opportunity to assess, wasn't it? Well, what about the bad bits? Because it wasn't all good. Like we had a messed up Christmas.
Yeah. Christmas was hard. It was hard not seeing you guys. It was hard not seeing our family, Rob's mum and dad. So when it came to Christmas, the first Christmas in the pandemic, we did spend with Rob's family. It was going to be the last Christmas that we spent with Rob's uncle.
Yeah.
Which was hard.
Did you break the rules?
No, because we were allowed to go in our bubbles.
Oh, you were bubbled. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So they helped look after Bodhi. If anything happened with childcare, they were there. So they were in our bubble. We did extend it a little bit because there were 2 other people there. There was Rob's uncle and aunt. But considering the circumstances,
yeah,
we would rather get in trouble for that than not see Unc.
I know.
For another Christmas and have that Christmas with him and Bodhi as well.
Yeah, I know.
Boy, so that was really important. That was really difficult. And when Unc was in hospital, the only time we went to see him was just before he passed away as well, which was hard.
Of course.
We weren't able to go to his funeral because this was before testing. We're not 100% sure if my husband had COVID.
I remember.
So, yeah, we were isolating, which was heartbreaking. However, they did have like a memorial service afterwards, which we were able to go to. So,
Yeah,
difficult on a social level. It was really difficult feeling isolated. However, having the technology that we have now, savior for people. I mean, if this happened, for instance, even 10 years ago,
I know, right?
About how technology has come on now.
It's so true, isn't it? 10 years ago, I remember we weren't really like FaceTiming or WhatsApping, but yeah, there's all this stuff now, and we're Zooming, and that's so lovely. And we do, don't we? We FaceTime, and our kids can chat, and we can see how each other is and stuff, and it's lovely. It is good.
It is, and I think it's kind of pushed people a lot more to use these this technology that's out there to help people. Absolutely. I mean, for instance, people have been speaking to their family in hospital over Zoom or WhatsApp calls that they weren't able to go and see.
Yeah,
that even if it's to do with long distance because of illness or a lockdown, we are using that technology a lot more now. And in the workplace, I don't even need to go there. I think everybody knows how much more we are using it.
Yeah, so you work from home quite a lot now, don't you? Not all the time, but you do.
Yeah, so I spend 2 or 3 days in the office. The department that I'm working now is for recruitment, in-house recruitment, which is a new learning curve for me completely. However, I can use the skills I've been learning to assist that role that I'm in as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so just before we wrap up, I know you've only recently started working in HR, in recruitment, but have you noticed that there has been a change in people wanting to work, maybe this kind of self-assessment, this kind of moment of, hey, I want to do something that has purpose and meaning? Has there been a mass exodus? Have people been resigning, the great resignation? I don't know, like...
There's been a massive shake-up.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen it in quite a few different departments. So I've been looking after like low-level finance roles quite a lot. As well as some other areas in the business. But yeah, there's been a few managers concerned that it's something to do with the department or with them, where actually people have been evaluating a lot what they want to go down or their growth. So, they might be in a financial area already and they've been taking additional study. We've had that chance to step back and have a look at what we want to do. So they want to progress into other areas of the business, or different area, like completely different area of business altogether.
Is it having an impact on the kind of first tier in your organization? I'm just, like, I don't know, but I'm imagining that maybe the first tier is where there's gaps, where other people are progressing or moving, or is that not happening?
I think, to be honest, that first tier, so we're looking at the customer service department, the admin areas at low level, that's always going to have that turnover.
Okay. Because it's...
yeah, I have had a really nice story come through from one of the people that has recently had a job. So she relocated to Nottingham. Through lockdown, she studied for her ATT for finance. She was working in customer service. Luckily, I had a role come up in Nottingham for our office. The guy that was working there is progressing up into a different area, which left this position at the bottom.
Wow.
She's already got the knowledge of the company. She's already got the customer service skills. The one thing that she hasn't got is like the working knowledge.
Yeah.
The financial area. However, because of the low level of the job and her studies, she could go in there and progress and go.
Oh, that's so lovely. Oh, Peps, that's so satisfying, being able to connect people with the right job for them. That's very smart.
Yeah. It's lovely. It's been really nice to take people through these journeys, you know. And yes, we get managers that are frustrated because they've got a solid team and people are moving on, but that's the way the business works. So, you know, we try and support them as much as we can and best as we can.
That's very cool. Oh, Peps, you are so awesome. Thank you ever so much for coming and talking to me today. Like I said, very grateful for you stepping in at the last minute. And I wish I'd asked you like earlier, but then I wouldn't have had you as a reserve. So thank you.
No problem. It's what sisters do.
I know, you are an awesome sister. Thank you. Okay, there is just enough time for me to ask you to like, subscribe, and put the alert notification on so that you never miss an episode. And don't forget, if you like this channel, don't tell me, tell your friends. I'll see you next time.